How's it going, guys? Sean here, Big Brown Bear, and we finally got a steel testing video for you guys. You can see I've got an 8-inch Gyuto in the CTS BD1N. Very excited about this steel. Yata knives. Show you guys the factory edge on this piece of paper. You can see where we are with the factory edge. You can listen and hear how it's cutting. A little bit, it's definitely not as crisp on the fingertips. Most factory edges have this problem. You're going to get a much crisper edge off your own stones. So I just have to put that out there. That's not an issue with this knife, but really just any factory knife. It seems you'll always get a crisper edge off the stone. But that is a fantastic factory edge. It's cutting the paper, all that stuff. But yeah, as a discerning user though, I would definitely want more. As far as what we were at behind the edge, I measured on my micrometer. It's about 13 thousandths behind the edge. So a very, very thin grind. Stock thickness, there's our stock thickness, 0.080. So thin stock thickness as well. I'm sure it distal tapers up to much thinner, but we won't go into that detail. So we're going to do a rope cut test with this blade steel. CTS BD1, you know, people, they don't give it any credit because there's nothing special about the alloy. But what's special about this is a CTS BD1N, and it has a much higher working hardness. This blade's actually at 63 HRC. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some rope cut testing. I've got 10 feet of 5/8 Manila rope. This is different than the other ropes you can find, like poly rope and Cecil rope. Manila rope is going to be the most abrasion resistant rope, so it's really going to just murder your edges out. Seems like 5/8 is going to be probably one of the most standard numbers. Usually what people do is they'll buy a 1/2-inch Manila rope and they'll pull off twines of that, but they didn't have any 1/2-inch Manila rope at the store when I went to go buy some, so I just bought 5/8 and we'll just cut it whole. With the testing, I just gotta say this as well, like, I'm gonna keep testing until I'm using an absurd amount of pressure to cut through the rope, okay, and then we'll check on paper and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're a strong enough person, you can probably make a knife that's really thin like this cut forever, just FYI. So you're just gonna have to trust my experience and knowledge with these. When I basically say that it's not cutting, it's essentially kind of kaput. Let's just start with the cutting. So looks like about here is good, and here we go. Yeah, it's definitely hard stuff to cut. Making some good cuts. I think now we're starting to slow down a bit though. Move some of this rope out of the way. Yeah, this stuff's absolutely horrible to cut, for sure. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to stop here. I've got 70 cuts in the Manila rope. I'm feeling the edge. I've lost that crispness to it. There's a little bit of deformation at the edge. But 70 cuts in the rope. I'll show you where we're at right now. Adding moderate pressure. I'm still able to cut, okay, if I saw through it like so. But it's definitely not as crisp as a cut if you rewind to the beginning of the video that I had. Of course, if I add lots of pressure, I can keep it going. You know, you're not going to find me doing any kind of raw endurance testing on this channel. Sorry, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just concerned with how long it's going to hold that front end sharpness there. And it looks like we got 70 cuts, which is impressive for this material. Most knives don't make it that far at all. Most knives only get to about 40, 50, including some super steel knives. So that's kind of interesting. So also, let's just kind of see, I'll show you guys on the paper where I'm at. I just really kind of use this heel area, so I'm going to hold the knife like this. It looks funny, but it's so I can actually cut with the heel and show you guys where the knife is at. So yeah, it's still able to cut, even though it's lost that real crispness to the edge. You can see right here as well, if I point at the heel, there's kind of some real little frillies and stuff right there. So I'll move that stuff out of the way. Also, what's cool about CTS BD1N is how well it strops back. And so I've got a diamond strop, 1 micron diamond compound on leather here. And we'll just go ahead and wet that off. We'll strop this guy back. Now, stropping's never going to give you like a real super crisp edge like it is off the stone. But we'll do some stropping here and see what that does. Put a little bit more force at the heel area. I'll come back to the piece of paper I was using. It don't look like it catched right there, but it's actually, it feels like it's cutting smoother. I was able to make a little push cut there. And if we come back on the rope, it's going to feel and sound a little bit different again. So yeah, it's cutting better after doing that right there, but it's definitely not cutting as crisp as it could be if it was off a stone. So that's interesting for sure. Yeah, we're able to get a lot of cuts out of a material that looks like on the spec sheet it's incredibly inferior, but there's just always a lot more to metallurgy than we always know. So I think, yeah, CTS BD1N is a very interesting steel. We're gonna, definitely do some more testing with this knife. I'm very, very excited about this knife. I'm very, very excited about this steel. It's difficult to get other people excited about this steel because, like I was saying, on the spec sheet, it does not look as impressive as a lot of these really, really highly alloyed steels, but CTS BD1N looks like it's definitely primed to take over the knife world if people get their hands on it and see what it can do, because it's definitely some very impressive material. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy.